Hi, you're very welcome. And in this video, what I want to explore is the PivotBY function. So I've got a data set here. See this one, coffee shop data set. And I've converted it to a table, which I did by clicking into it and then press Control and T. And then I've also given it the name coffee. So if you click up here in table design and then just come over here to my table name, I've just given it the name coffee. And just a reminder about table names, no spaces in the names. Now, what I want to do also is I want to create two drop-down lists from this data set. One for the location, which is over here, and one for the employee, which is over here. And I'm going to use a function called unique. So it's kind of linked to the data and it kind of makes it dynamic. So I'll click here in lists and I just go equals unique. And this will extract my data from it. And I just type in coffee. Now, as I do, the link to the coffee table, which I've named already, comes up. So I'll just double click on it. And if I put in a square bracket, I'm just going to click on location. And then I close the bracket, close the square bracket, and then close the roundy bracket, and then press enter. And it gives me this one here. Now again, just a reminder about the dynamic array functions. If you look up here, because I've clicked down here on Uptown, which is underneath it, when I go up here, it's kind of dim. If I need to edit this, I need to go back up to airport. Okay. Now, one thing I want to do as well is I want to just sort this. Now, you can't, unfortunately, one of the limits of a dynamic array is that you can't just click on it and go sort, because what happens when I do? Okay, so if I come up here to data, and then I do my regular, see there, you're told you can't change part of an array. So what I need to do is I need to add another bit onto this one here, onto the formula that just sorts it. So I click up here, click between the equals and the U, type in sort, open my brackets, come over to the right, and then go comma. It says sort index. I'm not really pushed about that. That would kind of apply if you had more than one column, which I don't. And then I go into the next and sort order, and I want it to be in ascending order, so just put in 1. And then I just close my brackets. And you see there, it's automatically sorted even in alphabetical order of coffee and location. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other one, but I'm actually going to pause the video and then just do exactly the same thing, but with my list of employees. Okay, so now you can see I've kind of done my employees. I've got my employees listed here. I've got the location listed here. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to my coffee shop data. And up here, what I want to do, and let me just do my up here to the top, is I basically want to put a drop down in here into the location based on that list. I'm going to go back to my lists. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm just going to call this airport, or sorry, location. Press enter, and then I do the same one here with Alice, and I just call that employees. Alice, who the hell is Alice? Although that's not quite the version I've heard. So I come back here to this one, I go to location, I come up to data, I go over here to data validation, and from the drop down, I choose list, and then I want to call up that range name, so I press F3 on the keyboard, and see there's my employees, and then I click OK, and then I click OK again. I want to click up here. See, there's my list, sorted nice and tidy alphabetically. Now I'm going to stop the video again and do the same thing with my employee. Okay, so now we have our two up here. We got our locations. There we go. Got our employee, good to go. So I come over here to this one. And when I was going through this, I normally like to teach this from the ribbon, from the function wizard. But I kind of noticed that, you know, when I was working through it, that it's actually easier to see what you're doing when you do it this way, which I'm going to do, you know, slightly more language. So equals get pivot data, PivotBY, and then double click on it. Okay, so the first thing that comes up is row fields. So these are the things I want to have down on the left-hand side. And for this one, I'm going to choose my product. So I just type in coffee, double click on it, this bracket, and I'm just going to go to product. close my square bracket, and then I go comma. Then the column fields, in this case, I'm going to have my location. So type in coffee again, square bracket. I just can double click on location, close my square bracket and go comma. Values, what do I want to drag into the values part of it? In this case, I'm going to go quantity sold. So I just type in coffee again, square bracket, quantity sold, double click on it, square bracket here, go comma. And then it says the next one is the function. Now you can see here, as I mentioned in the tutorial, you've got a whole range of options, much wider than you have in the regular pivot tables. And the one I particularly like is the one median, which used to be tricky to do. But I'm going to kind of stick to the knitting and just go with sum. So double click on sum, and then I go comma. Now, if you're doing this yourself, you can see here you have 4 options, and I went yes but don't show, no but generate, yes and show. And I actually found that you get slightly different results, not always obvious, this one. So I decided to go with the default, which was 0, which is no. And then I go comma, and then ask me, do I want totals? And again, I can choose the kind of totals I want, so I'm going to go with 0 again, comma, and let's say go to the row sort order. So for the row sort order, basically you have 1 for ascending and -1 for descending. So I'm just going to go to 1 and then comma. And then it's going to ask me, do I want column ones? And I'm going to go for no totals again. Actually, no, I won't do no totals again. I'll go do your grand totals so you can kind of see what it looks like slightly differently. The column sort order, I'm going to go with -1 for this one so you can see the difference. And then for the filter array, what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to open my brackets, and this is where I'm going to kind of allows me to filter down the data. So I go coffee, double click on this one, and then square bracket. I want to say location, square bracket, location, and I go equals, and then I click on the location up here and just use F4, close my bracket, roundy bracket, and then go multiplied by. So multiplied is if you want to do both. If you want to say or, use plus here. Okay, and you kind of find more about that in some product kind of options. This one, and then I go coffee again. I'll do it slightly differently this time. I'm just going to come over here to employee, Control Shift arrow down, and then I just go equals, and then I just come back up here and I choose my employee, F4, and then I close my bracket and then comma onto the next bit. Okay, and I'm just going to go with this one here, which says basically your relative to, and I'm just going to go with 0 again. Particularly if you're doing this in the beginning, just go with the first option it gives you. Okay, now I'm probably not going to get an answer here because I don't have anything picked in my location and employee. Yeah, okay, but let's see what happens if from the drop down I choose a location. Sorry, I put that back to front, you twit-an. Let me just rename that now to employee and location. Down. All right, now this is because I choose coffee location, should actually have been S2. Okay, so I'm just going up here to S2, and coffee employee, I'm going to change it to Q2. Okay, now you see that looks much better now on this one. Okay. Now notice here when it clicks down into it, it's all dimmed. All right, so I need to click back onto it again. Now I don't want the totals here because I wanted to show you the tree map one. So I'm going to go back up here to my formula. Okay, row sort order is fine. And see the column total depth, that was the totals. So I'm just going to go back to this one and put in 0. And let's see what happens. I should have no totals columns. There we go. There we go. That's downtown. And now I'm going to make this a tree map. Okay, so just highlight this and then come up here to insert. And then over here, just choose my tree map. Now they're not available to you, just so you know, they're not available to you as a regular pivot table. So there we go. Just click on that one. There we go. and that one there. And if I want to then, if I come up here, let's say change my Alice Airport, you can see there the data start to change as we go through it. And again, I can format this one, and I don't really need the legend, so I'm going to remove that. All right, and that makes it a little bit clearer. And then I could add data labels to that if I wanted to. So data labels, more data label options, and I might just, for example, just put in the value. Okay, and that gives it there. All right, and then if I come up here then to this one, I can just resize it and change my location as I go along. All right, hope you find that useful. Mind yourself and take care. Bye.